Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Arkham Knight story-related DLC. As per every video, we're going to just be going through a different Arkham episode, so you can find those in the main menu. This time, we are going to be taking on the Harley Quinn Story Pack. Kind of fun, has some cool features, but as I'll explain later, it's probably my least favorite.
I got a bad feeling about this. We don't have the facilities to contain someone like Poison Ivy.
We just gotta hold her for a few more hours before she gets transferred to Blackgate.
Yeah, she doesn't tear down the Bloodhaven Police Department first.
Okay, donut dunkers. You gonna bring Ivy to me, or am I gonna have to get her myself?
Alright, so you're going to gain control of Harley, and you're going to have to take out these Bloodhaven police officers. And if you heard me say Bloodhaven, and you're wondering, did he mess up? Did he mean to say Gotham? No, I did not. So Bloodhaven, in case you don't remember, is a fictional town in the DC universe, and it's actually where Nightwing decides to set up shop. So basically what happens, as I've explained, Nightwing, the original Robin, he grows up, he becomes his own hero named Nightwing, and he ends up reaching this decision where he says, you know what, Gotham doesn't need me. Gotham has Batman, and Gotham has a number of other heroes in the Bat family. I can do a lot of good somewhere else. And then, so, it depends on the time era of the comic books that you're reading, but Nightwing ends up setting up shop in Bloodhaven. And so that's where we are right now. And our objective for this DLC is currently the Bloodhaven Police Department has Poison Ivy locked up, and they don't think they can contain her, but they need to hold her until something else becomes available.
Harley, quit wasting time, you stupid mug. We need Poison Ivy in Gotham now if our plan to destroy Batman is gonna work.
Quit squawking, bird brain. And remember, I'm only helping you and Scarecrow do this to kill B-Man.
My, touch a nerve, did I? Good. Now hurry up and find Ivy.
So basically what's going on is this is taking place obviously before Arkham Knight, slightly before Arkham Knight. Now, I'll get into the story again a little bit later, but, oh wait, no, never mind, we're not there yet, I thought we were somewhere else. But basically, so obviously I'm going to be talking about some spoilers from the Arkham Knight, which are going to begin right now. So in the Arkham Knight, remember that Poison Ivy ends up teaming up with Batman to help stop Scarecrow, and she ends up dying in the process. So this takes place slightly before the Arkham Knight, and Scarecrow has instructed Penguin. There's kind of like this chain among the villains. Scarecrow instructed Penguin to get Harley and Poison Ivy to help out, so Harley is now working to free Poison Ivy so that Poison Ivy can join the plan to help take down Batman. It's kind of funny that ultimately she ends up switching sides and betraying Scarecrow, but nonetheless, that's what's going on here, is we're trying to free Poison Ivy so that she'll help Scarecrow, and we're doing so as Harley Quinn.
And I'm the one to work for now. So tell me, what's your price?
You couldn't afford me. Besides, I'm a one-fella kind of gal.
We'll see about that.
Alright, so continue making your way through the police department, and we're going to come to this section here, which is my least favorite part of the DLC. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video that this DLC is probably my least favorite, and that's just because the mechanics that they made for this part right here, they just don't work very well. So you can see that we're basically set up with a typical Predator encounter, but when I sneak up behind an enemy, it says to do a loud takedown. So obviously, when you're playing as Batman or Nightwing or Robin, they're all about stealth. So you perform silent takedowns. But as Harley just said right there, she doesn't do quiet. She makes a presence. She makes herself known. And so you cannot actually do silent takedowns here. Instead, you have to do these things called loud takedowns. So you'll sneak up behind an enemy and knock them out. And obviously that's going to create some noise, so you can't stick around for long. As soon as you take out an enemy, you're just going to want to get away as fast as you can. And then in the top right corner, so actually the one thing that I do like about this part here is the type of vision that we're using right now. This is called the, oh God, I can't even remember the name now, but whereas like Batman has detective vision, this is something like psychotic vision or something like that. And while you're in this vision type, you can hear like in the background laughter, and every once in a while you'll actually hear every once in a while you'll actually hear Harley, not Harley Quinn, but Harleen Quinzel, her original personality. You'll hear her saying things like, "Is this right? Should you really be doing this?" And that's kind of like Harley's inner self, telling her like, "You're a criminal. You shouldn't be a criminal." So this part right here, this actual psychotic vision, this is pretty cool. But everything else about this section I really don't care for. You'll end up seeing that this takes quite a while to get through because so right here I'm going to use this ability. And you basically start to move very fast, and you can perform these instant takedowns. But while you're doing this, you also have to dodge the bullets, and it doesn't work well. Like you can see that I keep getting caught on this doorway, and I just keep getting shot even though I'm pressing the evade button. It just doesn't work the way they wanted it to work, and it's kind of a shame because it's a cool idea. But in the end, this whole thing just becomes more frustrating than it is fun. Now again, obviously those are my opinions. If you've played this for yourself and have different opinions, feel free to share them in the comments down below. We could talk about those. But I just feel like for this particular DLC, I feel like the development team had some cool ideas, but they just didn't quite translate the way they were hoping they would. But I do give them credit. I definitely give them credit for trying, because they could have easily they could have easily not been as creative, and they could have just said, oh, Harley, uses stealth and has some type of detective vision or something like that. Maybe she's using a special pair of goggles. Like they could have just replicated the Batman experience with Harley, and in the end it would have been easy to play, but it wouldn't have been very creative. So they went for the creative approach here, and I definitely give them credit for that. It's just in the end it doesn't really do it for me. I don't enjoy this part of the DLC. But perhaps the one saving grace is going to come later on in the DLC. There's kind of a little boss fight, which I'm not going to spoil. Well, I might have already spoiled it in the beginning on accident. But there's a boss fight at the end of this DLC that actually is kind of fun, albeit very, very easy. And that's kind of the trend that you'll notice throughout these DLCs. They're not meant to be difficult. It's no coincidence that when you play the DLC, you're not offered different difficulty levels. You're not offered easy, medium, or hard. It's kind of a one difficulty type of thing. And that's because these aren't supposed to be very hard. They're supposed to just be more enjoyable than anything. Although I will say, and I haven't recorded this one yet, but the Catwoman DLC, the first time I played it, from what I remember, it was really hard. Like I was genuinely getting frustrated with it. It was really difficult, and maybe now when I play it again for a second time, maybe I'll find that it's not as tough as I thought it was. But I do remember it being very hard to get through. But we'll get to that when we get to it. So again, just continue making your way through the room. The biggest trick here, the same thing you would do as Batman. Look for isolated enemies. Try to find an enemy that's off on their own, and then especially because you have to perform a loud takedown, you're going to want to make sure there are no enemies anywhere nearby, otherwise they're going to get to you before you're able to run away. So right here I'm kind of going in for another takedown, and you can see those two enemies are kind of far off in the distance. And you can see again, I've built up the meter on the left-hand side, that ability, so I can use that. But like I said, I really don't care for using that ability, and especially because I took so much damage the first time I used it, I'm not really sure I want to use it again. So I'm actually going to save it for the end and maybe just take out the last one or two guys using it, and I'll hold off until then. And this is really where things just kind of start to drag out, because there's only 3 enemies left, but you can see these two guys, they're a little too close to each other, and then I can't drop down and get that guy because his buddy is leaning over the railway with his gun. So if I do that, I'm going to get shot. So it does become kind of a waiting game. You do have to be a little bit patient at times, which is a shame because it does kind of take away from the momentum. But you know what are you gonna do? That's what you gotta deal with. So be it. And actually, I just got some good news while I'm recording this commentary. I just got an email from Amazon saying that someone sent me an Amazon gift card for 20 bucks, and I went to look because I didn't know what that was for. And it turns out a couple months ago when I took the physics GRE, afterwards they sent me a survey talking about, asking me my plans for grad school and things like that. And I forgot that for taking the survey, they offered me a gift card, and I just completely forgot about it. So that's kind of a nice bit of news. So I will pose this question to you guys. What should I spend this gift card on? I've currently been wanting to buy two things. One, I want to buy the Resident Evil Origins collection for PS4. It comes with Resident Evil 0 and 1, and right now on Amazon it's $26. So I could use the $20 gift card and then just pay the $6 difference. Or I drink a fair amount of energy drinks, and right now they have a 24 pack of Monsters, the ones that I drink that are safe for diabetics to drink. They have a 20 pack of those on Amazon on sale right now for $21. So I could basically knock that whole thing out with the gift card. So I will leave that question to you guys. You can make my decision for me. Should I get the video game, which is gonna cost me an extra $6 out of pocket, or should I get the Monsters, which will cost me only $1 out of pocket, but will fuel me to record more gameplay and everything like that? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's funny. I never anticipated asking that question to the audience, but it just popped up while I was recording the commentary, so I figured why not. Let's see what you guys think about it. Alright, so here we go. We're in this room now. Just another little combat encounter. This asshole with the shield is starting to piss me off, so I'm going to try to use an instant takedown on him. One thing I really like about fighting with Harley is her instant takedown move. You saw it right there. She does this cool thing where she throws up her giant bat. She slides under the person's legs, and then she catches the bat behind them and just whacks them over the head, but it's all done very quickly, and I think it's a really cool instant takedown move. So anyway, now with those guys taken out, you're going to call the elevator. Go on inside and make sure you press the button to make your way down.
Now we got you, Quinn.
So those guys are going to stop you. So after a couple seconds, I don't know why it takes this long to kind of register, but you're going to grapple up here, and then you're going to see an explosive wall right here. So go ahead and use the jack-in-the-box. That's a cool little gadget too, using an explosive jack-in-the-box to blow up these obstacles instead of the explosive gel that Batman and Robin use. I like that a lot. That's pretty clever.
What's it matter? If Scarecrow says we need Ivy to take out the bat trash, then we need Ivy to take out the bat trash.
Hey, no way I'm helping Batman take out the trash. Let him take out his own damn trash. I want Batman dead.
That's what I meant, Harley.
So in this room here, there's this really cool ability you could do. So check this out. If you click L3, you can aggravate those plants. So around the map, you'll see these green glowing plants. And if an enemy is standing near one of them, you can throw something at it to aggravate it, and the plant will straight up eat the guy. And you'll see that I end up using all three of those plants because it's a really useful way to get rid of enemies quickly with it. And that's the only way you can do it and still remain undetected, because it's a completely silent move. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with a plant takedown, and then I did a loud takedown. Now over here you can see another enemy is approaching this plant, so I'm gonna do that move again. It'll eat it. Very, very useful move. And now I'm just gonna keep scanning the room. You'll see that there is one more plant over in the corner, and there's an enemy approaching, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that one more time. Once you use a plant once, that's it. You can't use it again. So just know that. But it's basically 3 free takedowns, which makes this room a lot easier. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of zip back and forth across the room, taking out one enemy at a time. This room is a lot easier to navigate. One of the things for predator encounters, the thing that can kind of make or break a predator encounter is the actual room itself. This is a pretty good room. It's an easy room to navigate. Whereas the previous one, I just didn't like the room. I thought it was hard to navigate, and so that's another reason I didn't like that initial predator encounter. But so here you can see this guy is over here. He's by himself, so I'm gonna drop down for the takedown. And now watch what I do. So I'm gonna perform this loud takedown. The enemies are gonna run over. I'm gonna zip over to the other side of the room. There should be at least one guy that just doesn't care, and you can see that he's over here. So that'll be my second takedown, and then the same thing's gonna happen. I'm gonna take him out. A couple enemies are gonna run over here to investigate. And then I will take out this guy, and I'm just gonna kind of keep doing that, just zipping back and forth. There we go. So already you'll notice that this DLC, it comes out to about 20 minutes long. It really is kind of the same length as the Red Hood DLC. You know, they're all about 15 to 20 minutes long. It just depends on how quickly you can do these predator encounters. So the first one took me quite a while to actually get through. That's why I spent an extra 5 minutes in this DLC than I did the Red Hood one, because of that first predator encounter. But we're getting towards the end. So now that we've cleared this room, we're going to follow the objective and go through these doors here, and that is where we will find Poison Ivy and engage in our last little fight.
Quinn, better move your ass. My men spotted Nightwing just outside. And you don't want unnecessary complications.
How contraire, Penguin. It's like Joker always said, if it ain't complicated, it ain't fun.
Right, well, I don't even know how to respond to that.
I know. He was so profound. Hey, Hammy. How they treating ya?
Harley, come to free me again?
Alright, so before we can finish and free Harley, we're going to have to take out a couple of police officers. But as Penguin pointed out, Nightwing is right outside. So as you can imagine, the boss fight that I hinted at earlier, it's going to be against Nightwing. Unfortunately, it's very easy. Like, it's ridiculously easy. I think they could have made it a bit harder. But it is still fun. It's kind of fun to be on the opposite side and to be fighting Nightwing instead of playing as Nightwing or teaming up with Nightwing. But the boss fight itself is going to be very, very simple. So you're going to clear out this initial wave of officers. In comes Nightwing.
End of the line, Quinn.
And he'll have his typical weapon here, the electrified rods. And so you're basically going to fight him just like you would a normal enemy that's carrying the electrified rod. You have to jump over them and then hit them in the back. And that's really it. You're just going to have to keep doing that. So jump over him, hit him in the back, and then take out some of the police officers. Unlike the Red Hood DLC, you can actually use your instant takedown on Nightwing. So once you build up that combo meter, use it on Nightwing, and that will cause him some extra damage. But you'll see his health bar in the top right corner. Once you eliminate him, that will end the fight, because the police officers will just keep spawning infinitely until you finish off Nightwing. So kind of focus on taking him out as opposed to the officers. You can see he's already getting very low. Really not that difficult at all, but it's still pretty fun to fight against Nightwing. And once he's out, that'll wrap up the DLC. Here's the cutscene, and I'll join you at the end of the video.
Batman doesn't stand a chance.
Need some help?
Well, ain't that a bloody surprise? Now grab Ivy and bring her outside. I got a car waiting for you. Scarecrow will be very pleased with our work.
Our work? Sorry, Butterpot. Last time I checked, walking and talking ain't work.
Why, you little...
Be nice and no Ivy.
Just get back to Gotham.
Come on, Hammy.
And there you have it, guys. That is the end of the Harley Quinn Story Pack. I hope you enjoyed. Again, let me know what you think of the comments down below. Let me know your answer to my ridiculous question of what I should buy with that Amazon gift card. I posed that question about halfway through the video. I'm eager to hear your guys' responses, if you even have any. Otherwise, again, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance, and I will see you in the next DLC.